So, Melinda, welcome to Siembra. How are you?
I'm well, Joyce. Thanks for having me. Me siento muy excited to be here.
Yes, yo. So I want to give our viewers a little bit of context. I really don't know you that well.
Mhm.
We're not like close friends. Like, a lot of the interviews I've done over the years have been people that I've known, that I've worked with, and whatever. And this podcast is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be people who I've watched move from afar. I'm like getting inspiration from different places. So I met you about a year ago at
Yeah.
at an ASE event.
Yes.
Um, I attended the event, and what I thought was really interesting and what actually prompted me to have you here today is the fact that every single person I talked to, for whatever reason, thought that I should meet you.
Aw.
And that was like a really interesting thing to me because I mean I get that in some other circles that I've worked in the past. I've gotten that, like, oh, everybody needs to know George. So I found that very interesting. And you're in Chicago, or you were working in Chicago at the
Right,
time,
working.
and it was a new world to me. I
Mhm.
knew a couple of people there, but it was very far and few between. So I found it very interesting. Everybody wanted me to meet you, and then we connected on LinkedIn, and then I clearly saw why.
Aw.
But I would like to uncover that in the conversation. So
Oh, let's do
I have my reasons for why I know why, but now I want people to know why, and that's what Siembra is all about. So what I would like to start the conversation today is talking about somebody you've coached,
Okay.
and then from there we'll actually uncover who you are and where you come from, what drives you. We'll do
Okay.
all those things, but I really want to start there. I want to start with someone who you helped, and I want you to walk me through the journey.
Yeah, well, once again, thank you for having me here. And definitely the respect is mutual, getting excited to learn a little bit more about what you do in the community. One person that I can think of at the top of my mind is a young professional, Latina, came to me because she saw me, mutual networks and what I was offering with coaching and consulting. Really kind of struggling with her resume. As we uncovered, it wasn't just the resume, it was career goals. How is she going to be able to launch herself from an early career professional to really start showcasing her experience, get, the job that she wants, that she can support herself and her immigrant family. And I provided some resume support, but we started to really unpack a lot of the pressures that she was feeling, personally and professionally, which we all get, especially in today's society, but also how she was just trying to figure out how does she move in this world, coming in because she was from an immigrant background. She was like, this is a different world. I don't have mommy and papi or tío and tías in their experience. She graduated with honors and scholarships, but she just didn't know how to take her career to the next level. So I felt very honored and happy to work with her. And what we started doing is really unpacking is the mindset. What were some things that were blocking her? And already she was just coming in as I'm an immigrant, I'm a Latina, and coming in from a deficit mindset instead of saying, how do I leverage this? I speak two languages, right? I came from not having a lot, but I'm resourceful. I got scholarships. So once we started doing a lot of mindset work, we started translating that into how can we quantify what you've been able to do. And now let's take control of your narrative. And now we can put in a resume and connect you. And that shift was definitely great. It took a while. I think between 6 to 7 months, she told me she found a full time job. She's out there recruiting now, and she's recruiting other first gen and immigrant students. So it's really nice to see her success and have been part of that story.
But isn't it incredible how we go through these hardships, but we come out on top, and we often exceed expectations from the
Hmm.
people around us, but yet we still think that it's a hindrance, or it's a
Hmm.
it's a negative somehow. It's just incredible to me that she probably
Hmm.
graduated top honors.
Yeah,
She got the full ride and whatnot, and then she's doing
working
these
full
things,
time.
not having like some of her non-Latina peers,
Right,
having support from the family and people who've done it that can actually guide them. So that's kind
right.
of incredible. it almost makes it feel like a bigger success than anybody else, because you don't have the support system, but you
Of
still made it
course.
to the end goal. You're still there with the same people that
Right.
were, like, competing with you in school. Wow. So what about working with this young lady brought you, um just gave you that ganas, I could say.
Mhm.
Like, what about working with her really, like, kind of drove you to, like, make sure that she tapped into all of those things that you could see
Well,
clearly
one,
for
just because
yourself?
I genuinely care for people, but asking for help is very brave. So the fact that she came to me and asked for help, was important to really like want to help succeed. And then learning about her and her story, I'm like, you have it there. Like you were just saying, like you came from little resources, but you found ways to maneuver and be successful. Let's start reframing things from a positive standpoint, and the way that you have those skills you can still apply them. So I saw that she had that tenacity and that drive to want to do more. And at the end of the day, it wasn't just for her but for her family. Like she wanted that employment to help herself and her family. So that's when it's like it's not just her, it's a generation that she wants to be able to help support.
Yep. Now she helps all the brothers, sisters, and primos. That's
Hmm.
great. So you gave me the overview, and I could appreciate it, and I could totally see how you would have that impact on her, just getting to know you the way I have.
Thank you.
Now, my question for you is, what are some of the unique coaching techniques that are not quite as visible? Like, if somebody, like, how can we dig deeper into what you had to do to get to the goal? And
It's
what does
really
she have to do? What does she have to do as well?
really coming from establishing rapport and respect. That's important to have that sense of trust first and foremost, where it's not judgmental. It's coming from a place like, let's connect and let's work together to help you succeed. And really, the mindset is let's really unpack some of the things that are causing you to have trouble. So always like, what is it one goal that you're interested in achieving, or what are some things that are blocking you? And just asking more and more questions, you get to really start unpacking more of the things that end up being the larger issues that we have to overcome.
Okay. What do you think was the one, if you could put it, like, bring it to one sentence, what was the
Mhm.
one thing you said to them, the one concept you presented that you think was like a major pivot in the situation? Like, you have that aha moment. We talk about that all the time, right? Like, what was that one moment that you think that she just kind of got
Mhm.
it? Like, did she just shift gears?
I think it was the concept, honestly, about growth mindset. We're never stagnant, we're lifelong learners. And it's always coming from a place like, how can you control your affect, your behavior, and your cognition? Like, you're in the driver's seat. And having her realize, like, I can control my narrative, I can control the way I think, the way I feel, the way that I move, made her feel more empowered instead of the situations that were making her feel down.
Who was Melinda for you? Like, who was your Melinda?
Oh, there were several.
Because we gotta dig deep
Yeah.
inside where you get to the point where you can help others, right?
Yeah,
So,
well, I have to give a shout out to Marlene Gonzalez. She's an exceptional neuroexecutive coach. I met her through the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement, a great organization. She was a coach that developed into a mentor and a sponsor. Um, Also, I would say my mommy, Diana Martinez. Like, she's such a woman of
shout out
faith.
to all the
And
moms out here.
yeah, I need to get that shirt. But my mommy has always been like, you can do it. And you know, just having those type of people in your corner that can embrace you and really encourage you is important. So those two people stand out for me amongst many that did help.
Yeah, and it's funny you say sponsorship, and we talk a lot about mentorship.
Mhm.
We talk a lot about coaching in the space, because those are two different things from a very, very personal space, right? Mentorship is when you're
Mhm.
sharing knowledge with somebody selflessly because you want to see them succeed, and then coaching is something that you do sometimes as a business,
Right.
and it's something that you do. But sponsorship is something different. Talk to me a
Mhm.
little bit about your culture specifically, because that's one of the biggest things that drew me to want to talk to you. Talk to me about your concept and your culture of sponsorship.
So with sponsorship, the way that I look at it is instead of mentoring, is to the next level. So mentoring 2.0. So mentors talk with you or, talk about certain things and it could be mutual. Sponsorship at the next level is when they talk about you, right? This is where you've had that mutual respect. They've seen the way that you move, you've elevated your status and what you can provide. And now these are the people that are speaking about you in rooms that you may not be at or tables that you might not be at to really put you on. Have you seen this person, that person? Oh, you should think of that. So they're really the people that are rooting for you at that next level.
Okay, okay, I see that. So now let's do the the big reveal, right? Who's Melinda? What does she do? That's me.
Melinda's a lot of things. I love to say a fun-hearted person, because that's important for me. But also, I'm a proud Latina, Dominican and Puerto Rican, originally from New York and upstate in Rockland County.
Nice.
I'm now stationed here in Tennessee, so I'm a military spouse, a mama bear, but also a leader. And at the end of the day, I'm a community connector because I really believe in the power of helping others through community and collaboration over competition.
Wow, everything you say is just so perfect, so perfect. So, but professionally, like let's talk about like your actual career. Like,
Mhm.
run me down like some of the positions you've had and some of the things that are the highlights of your professional career.
Yeah, so I have 17 plus years in the professional game as a first generation professional, all the way from leadership development and coaching to nonprofit and higher education background. So I have the luxury of being able to marry my love for education and business and putting it both together.
Nice. And obviously, those types of positions require a very strong sense of leadership principles. Talk to me
Mhm.
about some of the leadership principles that you think that really drive success for you personally.
For me, I would say transformational leadership when we're thinking of things from a micro level to a macro level. So, thinking about micro is all about self awareness, right? What are some things that I'm strong in, some areas that I need to develop? Then, working on your skill sets as a leader, you go to the next level, developing teams, developing others. The next level up, leading businesses, organizations. And then the last is like society in general. So, that transformational leadership model starts with us doing that work so we can make the impact and plant the seeds for success.
In other words, folks, she does not only bring the table, but she brings the chairs and the settings.
Hey, the home está completa.
La mesa completa. She has the whole room set. Uh, so one of the big challenges in the overall Latino or I guess POC space in business has been the attack on DEI initiatives.
Mhm,
How are you seeing a shift? Because I know you live deep in DEI, right?
mhm,
All your work with ASE was very
mhm.
structured towards DEI initiatives. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are your concerns? What's keeping you up late at night?
Oh boy, man. There's a lot that's been happening. So definitely, like just the things that are happening in the U.S. with the DEI legislations, and just people's perspective on it, especially in the heightened political arena. We're gonna see how things unfold one way or another, but I am definitely a proponent that we need to double down on our DEI efforts because we really need to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging and the fact that we definitely earned it, and being able to say how this can mimic the century that can help drive us as being global competitors in this world competition, right? We have to embrace it.
Absolutely. I think that we really have to think about the world that we're leaving our children,
Hmm.
and we've come very far in so many different ways, and we can't afford to like kind of backpedal now or just
Hmm.
allow things to happen, right? So, what's next for you? Like, what do you want to do next? Like, what does your dreamscape look like right now?
It's all over. I love to dream. So now, just going through a transition myself on sabbatical and focusing on family. And then in the fall, just keeping myself open to opportunities, whether it's full time or consulting work, because I love being in the arena of helping empower businesses and people.
As Siembra, I always want to make sure that people are taking actionable steps towards whatever we're talking about, right? That somehow we're speaking to somebody who's out there that are feeling a certain way about their career. They're kind of lost. They haven't been able to negotiate the right salary or find the right position. I want you to give me, if you can, and give
Mhm.
them an idea of how to just self audit to be able to get to the point where that young lady got to you and came and said, "Hey, I need you to help me." So if you can, give me maybe 3 or 4 tips on how to like self audit and identify the right person to connect with to actually get to the breakthrough.
Okay. So I always come across the ABCs of self-management, that I learned from a Marist College professor O'Keefe. And it starts with the ABCs, which is your affect, behavior, and cognition. So your affect is your feelings, your behavior is your action, and your cognition is your thoughts. So start writing those down. Like, what am I feeling? What's my affect? Good, positive, ugly, whatever it is. What behaviors? What patterns do I have? So I can say, so even in myself with transition, am I feeling depressed, sad, tired, frustrated? That's my affect. My behavior, am I staying up late? Am I tossing and turning? Am I working out, sleeping right? All the basics. And cognition, what are my thoughts? Are they thinking? Am I going down a downward spiral, etc.? Because having the ABCs down will let you know, okay, how can I reframe it? What are my issues or themes that are coming up? Then you can start identifying what is one small thing that you can do to change it. And then that can lead up to bigger goals, bigger tasks to accomplish. So start with the ABCs.
Start with the ABCs, but also give me an idea, frame for me, even a script that somebody could actually, when they find that person that they admire, that person that is where they want to be, like how do they approach them? Like,
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm talking about this.
Mhm.
I'm talking about this because we talk a lot about this concept in the TikTok world that we live in, right? In the very short form, like these are some of the things that you should be doing in your business and whatnot. But I feel like not having the full context of the strategy or the principle
Mhm.
actually has folks misstepping.
Mm.
And it could be something as simple as I have a question for Melinda,
Mhm.
but I'm going to go into her DMs and I'm not even going to say hi and ask her how she's.
Right, right.
So give me some tips for finding a new job, or give me some resume tips. But they're not actually going through the process of relationship building, right? Community building.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about like the approach. Like how would you approach? Like how are you gonna approach the next person that's gonna mentor you?
Oh, that's a really good question. So that starts with self, right? And that comes in with that self audit that you said. Like, where am I at? Where do I want to go? Be specific on, 1 year, 2 years, three, and like you said, a 5-year plan. And if you don't really know, have some idea of what you do well and some areas that you need support. Then think of two is who are some people that are in my industry or not in my industry that I've seen them through, whether it's been on TikTok, LinkedIn, or in person, that I like the way they move. I connected with them for some reason. Then really do your research, right? Find out about what they do as much as you can so you can see if there's anything that you can connect on and connect on values. So if you see that they're family oriented person or that they're results driven, that's more important to connect on values than let's say, hey, I saw you worked at this and this and that, you know? Because that takes it to the next level if you see the values and the themes, and that connects people a lot more. Then being able to reach out, be always kind and courteous. Hi, introduce yourself. And if you're doing, something on LinkedIn, like I read your, bio and I was very impressed of your journey. I've always done it before for my mentor. Like I'm always interested how one of my mentors is from Brooklyn, how you went from Brooklyn working at this nonprofit to now being successful and global wide leader. And I see that you value education and higher education. And as a first generation higher education graduate, that intrigues me. So I would love 15 minutes of your time, to get to know you and best support you. So I think that's best to approach it quick. Remember, 15, 20 minutes of their time,
Yeah.
because that's important. Show them that you took time to get to know them, and then be prepared with questions or how you can best support them, and then see what can work as a mentoring opportunity.
That's incredible, and that's a very unique approach. I don't think enough people do. Is that they're not coming to just ask for questions. They're finding
Right.
out, okay, I want to learn from you, but I
Hmm.
also have these skills and these talents
Right.
I could offer. Uh, if for perhaps you have a need for that, and
Yeah,
then obviously the
absolutely.
very last thing, which is going to be, I promise you that at some point over the next year, I want to bring you back in, and I want to bring you back in for like a focused LinkedIn group.
Okay.
Really want you to I want you to come, and I want you to bring all your LinkedIn magic to a group of people who are willing to invest in getting that skill set.
Yeah, let's do
That's
it.
something that I already have. That I have like three. I'm 3 steps ahead of where we are right now. But I'm grateful for this moment, and I want to live in this moment right
Sure.
now. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Let the folks know on online where they could reach you and what types of things you could help them with right now.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would love to connect with folks. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Melinda E. Ramirez. You can also email me at Melinda, Melinda, Ramirez at gmail.com. I'm happy to look forward to connect. Email me, message me on LinkedIn. I'm here to support in whatever way that I can. And I do anything from coaching, consulting, leadership development, and talent development.
Awesome. Awesome. So there you go. For you folks that are looking to invest, for you folks that are looking to invest your time and your money in a place where you know that you're going to get like top tier
Thank
support, Melinda is it. Trust me. I mean, I can't even tell you how many people have recommended what Ruby,
you. I love Ruby.
everybody on the board of ASE and the National Leadership Council.
Oh,
I
they're
mean,
amazing.
because it's so funny, and it's like I thought you were in Chicago, and you're
I'm
not.
all over. No,
But
Tennessee.
it's so crazy that for me, one of the biggest mover and shakers in Chicago is in Tennessee. So that
Yeah,
goes to show that no, it goes to show
thank
the
you, thank
power of
you.
using and leveraging the social media platform to be where you need to be for the people that you need to be there for.
I
And,
appreciate
and that's
that.
and that's
Move.
a
Keep
huge
moving and keep helping.
absolutely. So we will see you again soon. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you're going to be part of this whole Siembra movement as we keep growing. Muchas gracias. I'll have all the information in the show notes. So yeah, there you go. Any last words?
Thank you for having me. And like I said, always keep your head up and know that you bring value to everything that you do. I'm so proud of you in the Siembra Academy. So thank you, and anything that you need support, I'm here for you.